Hi guys, my name is Paul Adaroche and I'm a full stack engineer. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at how to set up a Node.js server, right? Let's get started. Okay, so yeah, I've created a Node server folder, and the first thing I'm going to do is to create a file, and I'm just going to create a file here, and I'm going to call it index.js file, right? So the first thing I'm going to do here, so this is an empty file. The next thing I'm going to do, the second thing I will do is to initiate a node using npm init. So for you to do this, you need to have node installed in your application. So I'm assuming you already have that done. If not, you just go to nodes.org and download the latest version of Node, right? Okay. So let's get started. First I'm going to open my terminal. So just come up here and click on new terminal. And here, so right in my VS Code terminal, I'm going to type in npm init and click enter. So what this will do, this will initiate an npm, right? So it will make some prompts. The first one will be your package name. What do you want it to be named? I go with node server, fine. What version? Version 1. Description, you can add a description here if you want to. I'll just put in a simple text here, a simple node JS server setup. Yeah, it's fine. So what's the entry point? Index.js should be the entry point. So I'm going to click enter. Test command, let's ignore that. Git repo, can ignore that for now. Then keywords if you want to. So I'll just put my name here as the author of this, Poladaro J. And enter license, enter. So to give you a snapshot of everything you've entered so far, and if this is okay, you can click on yes or Y and enter. So now this has created this, and you see a package.json file here that has everything you've entered here. Okay, so this is the second step, all right? Running the npm init. Okay, this is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do now is let's go to our file. Let's go to our file here, and I'm going to write a list of steps. So there are basically about 4 steps you need to create a Node.js server, right? So the first step will be to get or import your HTTP module. So use HTTP module which comes with JavaScript to create your server, right? That's what you need to create your server. So after that, the next thing we're gonna do is to create server with HTTP, right? Then after that, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna initiate our ports, initiate ports number of ports. Then I think the last thing we're gonna do is to listen to server. Listen to server. So when you have all of this done, your server is up and should be up and ready. So let's start from the top. First step here, we're gonna get our import our server, our HTTP module. Okay, so just const HTTP is equals to require. So require is what we use to import modules in a node. Okay. So what are we importing? We are importing HTTP, right? So this is it. So just grab that. So this is the first step. We've imported our HTTP module, right? That's the first step. So the second step is to create a server. So how do we create a server? So we just say const server is equals to, now we're going to grab this HTTP because we use HTTP to create a server. So we're going to say HTTP dot create server. Create server is a method used to create server using the HTTP module. So now this actually takes two parameters, two arguments. One is request and one is response, right? So I'm going to put this in a bracket. So these are two methods used. Request, it takes things, you can send things to the server, and it receives it here. The response is more like feedback it gives, more like a return stuff. Okay. Now this. So what we'll do here is we'll just run a console log. Now, if this is successful, right? If you've created a server, we'll just console log here that server is created. Server is created. Yeah. Okay, so what we've done here is just simple basic. We've imported this module, HTTP module, and we use the HTTP module to create a server, right? That's what we've done. Now, if the server is created successfully, we get this in our console, right? Fine. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create a port. So port is a number that our server is being listed on, right? So we are just going to give it a port number. You can give it any number actually to work, but I'm just going to do 4,000. So our port will be listening on 4,000. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do now we created a server, we created a port for the server. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to listen for the server if it's actually you want to list the server if it's actually working. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this server we created here, we're going to take it server dot listen. That's how you listen. Okay. Now this takes two parameters also. It takes the port number, which we've defined here. Takes the port number. Okay. Takes a port number and it takes function. Now this function will just do a simple thing to just console log that the server sorry, I need to put this in a string. So server is running on ports. So I want to make this dynamic. So I'm going to use this string, this backtick, right? So I want to impute this port here. So what I'm saying here, this server is running on port 4,000. So I'm going to put ports here. So if it's running on this port, it's going to put 4,000 here. So The server is running on port 4000. Okay, so this is just a simple basic way to set up a node server, right? So how do we check if this is working? So I'm going to clear this here, and I'm going to run npm start, or we're going to just type what's it now? Node index.js. Okay. So if I click run now, you'll see that server is running on port 4000. So when you get this response, you know that your server is running. Okay. So this is just a simple guide on how to create a simple Node.js server. So coming here, okay, there's not much here. So we've gone through this before. So a quick recap. How do you set up a node server? First steps, first of all, you import your HTTP module, so which you've imported here using the require. And when we've imported this, the next thing is to create a server with the HTTP we've imported. So the method is http.createServer. That's the method used to create a server. So after doing that, we'll initiate a port, right? Initiate a port, right? After initiating a port, we listen. That's the last step, listen to see if it's running. If it's not running, you won't get this, right? And the final step is to check if your if your server is up and running, and that's by using node index.js file. That's your entry point here. And you should get this if it's actually working fine. And yeah, that's all about creating a Node.js server. Thank you.